Good morning and welcome to a very chilly woodland. Now sadly no camping this weekend for me. There was a camp planned but I haven't been very well since Wednesday, and although I'm feeling a bit better now, doing -3, -4 when you're not on top form is not the best of ideas, is it? So I thought I'd make this quick video this morning while I'm out for a short walk, a bit of fresh air, and show you a hammock hack that I use when it's really cold like this. Now, a lot of you guys that hammock camp regularly will run a structural ridgeline. Personally, I don't. It's a personal preference thing, but I know a lot of people do have a structural ridgeline when they set up. And of course, some of the hammocks with a bug net have this sort of line built into it. So in both cases, that's one job you don't have to do. I've just run an extra line between the two carabiners basically on the end of my hammock. That's the first stage. Nice easy bit. Right, the next piece of the puzzle. My good friend the poncho liner, or for my American friends out there, whoopee blanket. Quite why whoopee blanket, I don't know, but that's what they call it. But yeah, a poncho liner. Multiple uses. This time of year it's excellent. If I'm in a tent, this comes along and it's basically my carpet inside the tent for a bit of floor insulation. Doesn't make a massive difference, but every little helps, and at least you haven't got that cold plastic, on the floor of your tent. So let's add this. I've had to put a brew on. It's still about -2 out here and my fingers have gone bloody numb. Now, I'm not too sure how well you'll see this piece, but basically all the way around the poncho liner there's corner ties and midpoint ties. I've tied the midpoint one to the carabiner, then pulled the corners up and tied them to the carabiner. So it's not tight, but it's gathered. It'll keep some heat in. That's on the foot end. Right at the midpoint, just for demonstration purposes, I've just tied them together. You wouldn't have enough slack underneath for when your body weight is in there. What I normally do is I tie each one into a loop and I just hook a bungee on each one. So you've got, your bit of elastic hanging under here. Dual purpose, obviously as you're moving about there's a bit of stretch, which is good. And also the weight of having the bungee hanging underneath keeps the side down. If you get a bit of wind or whatever, stops it flapping. So yeah, I've just tied them today, but normally I'd make 2 loops and hook a bungee through there, hanging underneath. Head end, the middle centre loop, I've just tied onto the ridge line there. Just a loose bow, not tight. It's just looped over there. Bottom corners, don't really need to do anything with them. They can just hang down like that. Right, after a quick coffee break, because my hands were freezing, that's essentially what you got. Jump in at night, grab your curtain, cover yourself up. You'd be amazed at how much heat that traps in. I haven't done this now for probably 2 or 3 years because it just hasn't been cold enough. Last time I did it, I used just this and the hammock. No under blanket, and I only had a sort of 3-season sleeping bag. I went down to -3 and I was fine, absolutely fine. You really notice the difference when you pull this back in the morning. Cold air hits your face, it's like, blimey, pull the curtains quick. But yeah, it's very effective. If you're adding this and an under blanket together, you've basically got the cocoon, like the snug pack cocoon, but obviously much cheaper, and also multiple purposes, where the cocoon is just the one thing, isn't it? If it's really, really cold, once you get up in the morning, of course you detach this and wrap it around yourself. But yeah, a very cheap and a very easy hack that does make a big difference. Give it a try, you'll be surprised.